Hello there! Right here we got two brand new pre-releases. That's pre-release 2 and 3. They dropped some really big news which could potentially break my most famous farms. And Sculk Sensor's got a bunch of buffs plus a bunch more. Let's get all into that. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. 1.19 pre-release 2 comes out with a big announcement related to last week's change where mobs such as piglins, endermen, skeletons, wither skeletons can now spawn up to light level 11 in the nether dimension. As I mentioned in the previous video, this doesn't actually make these simple farms any faster, but it does allow my underload portal farms to actually work for more mobs. 5.5 years ago, I designed the first instant nether portal mob farm, known as Underload, where nether mobs who could spawn in light levels of at least 11 could spawn directly inside a nether portal, immediately be teleported out of the nether, allowing for more mobs to spawn in, creating the fastest mob nether farm. You could build the big version or the mini version. This farm would produce pigmen, ghast, and magma cubes with 1.16 new nether biomes. You can put it into different biomes to get only specific mobs to spawn, like a Soul Sand Valley would just produce ghast, as the light from the portals was too bright for skeletons. Putting the farm in a basalt delta would get you magma cubes only. And if you build this like in the Crimson Forest, you get piglins, hoglins, and zombified piglins. And if you put it inside of a nether fortress, you can get mostly just blazes, like I did in my super fast blaze farm. My farms became quite popular and started being used by everyone, including Exumavoid, DocM, and even Mumbo Jumbo. And I even made an overworld version of it back then, and have been updating it in my livestream since. And I called that one Overload, reference to the overworld, where Underload is a reference to the nether, also a reference to the large amount of items it produces. Overload took advantage of mobs that were immune to light, like slimes, and to this day, Underload is the fastest slime farm, and it's been built by many people, including Shulkercraft. So with the changes that they did in pre-release 1, increasing the light levels for piglins, enderman, skeleton, and wither skeletons that are in the nether dimension up to a light level of 11. That means if you put my farm inside of a warped forest, you'll get enderman, and if you put it inside of a nether fortress, skeletons and wither skeletons should spawn inside of it and immediately teleport to the overworld. So right after this new update came out, I did a live stream implementing my farm for these new mobs. But Mojang seen this, and they decided that mob spawning directly inside nether portals wasn't something that they wanted to have continue in the game. So they put out this message in this pre-release 2, saying important note is that a recent change made it possible for more types of mobs to spawn inside of nether portals, which caused them to instantly change dimensions after spawning. We will not be making any further changes to this before the release of 1.19, but our intent is for the future is to prevent most mobs from spawning inside of nether portals, and the ones that do will not immediately travel through the portal. Expect to see these changes in a coming version. So because my nether portal farms are so fast, Mojang directly put out this message addressing that even though I designed some new ones for 1.19, they will actually work in 1.19, but in the future they're going to stop them from working, including all my old versions. They don't say exactly which version, it might be 1.20 or 1.21, so I would really recommend you guys building my mini underload farm to get tons of mob loot before it's changed in the future. I'll have the farm linked in the description, but I will also be doing block tutorials on these farms once 1.19 is released. As a inventor of the portal mob farms, it's a bit sad to hear that they won't be working in future versions. Then again, they have been working for over 5.5 years, and tens of thousands of Minecraft players were able to use them. And even if the mobs don't spawn directly inside the nether portal, I could still have them spawn beside it, like my famous overworld mob farm that pushes mobs into portals with slime and water, or my discontinued spider farm, where it actually push them through a hole, or my super fast blaze farm, which actually have gas that shove them in. Now there's always a fix, so the farm itself won't truly die off. Let me know what you guys think about this change. The next major addition in these pre-releases is to the Sculk Sensor. Sculk Sensors got buffed, and now they can detect a lot more different things like converting path blocks, making farmland, stripping wood, villagers planting crops, snow golem placing layers, pistons breaking block, food on campfires, jukeboxes being used, I have ender being thrown, cauldrons being filled up by either dripstone or rain or snow, sweet berries being harvested, waxing as well as unwaxing copper react appropriately to item frames being placed. Sculks will also detect broken turtle eggs, bees leaving nest, daylight sensor changing, chickens laying eggs, and they will also inform shriekers if the player drops items so it can summon in a warden. Enderman teleporting, which gives the Sculk a brand new detectable event, which is teleporting, and that comes with a redstone signal of 5 being produced by the Sculk Sensor. Now in the past, the Sculk Sensor could detect the beginning of doing something as well as the end of doing something, such as like eating or drinking a potion, but they went ahead and removed the item interaction start, but instead we'll just keep track of when the item actually finishes its event, and that's what will activate the Sculk Sensor. This is done just to get more precision on exactly when these type of events go off. I've designed a lot of cool different machines that use the new Sculk Sensor to do all sorts of types of automation, so make sure you guys are subs so you don't miss that. They made a big buff to the Warden, and that has to do with how the Warden's sonic attack goes towards people that have protection armor on. Here we got Diamond with protection, and when the Warden does the Sonic Boom, it now bypasses the damage reductions by the armor enchantments such as like protection. So having protection on actually won't help you take less damage from the Sonic Boom attack, but just having armor on will actually still help, just not the protection enchantments. And since the Sonic Boom attack can do up to 10 hearts, it can like literally just kill you in one hit. So make sure you're at least wearing a decent amount of armor. Instead of the Warden digging in the ground when it is bored without a target and is in water, they'll now make these Wardens just despawn. They will now aggro if you hit them even with something like a snowball that doesn't do damage. And if you use creative to put these guys as a passenger, the AI will still work. Also with persistence required, they won't dig away. And they tweaked it so the Warden wouldn't listen to signals during its death phase. They won't give the darkness effect if you're on the same team as them. They also fixed the darkness effect, which was causing a flashing and incorrect rendering of it. Goats will now also drop horns if they run into copper ore. Baby goats unintentionally were losing their horns when fed to be grown up. And goats from an old world learning to the new world will no longer lose their horns when updated. Allays were easily getting stuck inside of some smaller blocks, like fences, which you'll be able to traverse now. They changed it so allays will now actually flee when the player hits them. With recent snapshot changes, villagers weren't restocking their trades like they're supposed to, but now they will. There were still problems with gas not being able to receive redirected fireballs, so now it's finally fixed in Snapshot. Despite some mobs not giving XPs when killed, they shouldn't actually cause anything to spread. Its spread advancement was still being given to the player, which it no longer will. Frogs will no longer spaz out when trying to get to a mob that they can't reach. Frogs are now smart and will run away from damage and run away from their attacker rather than going after any nearby slime. Maps and paintings that intersect will no longer break each other off. They made sure that void worlds will have a place for the player to spawn on, so they won't immediately fall into the void and die. You're now able once again to place in mine shafts using the place command inside of mesas. They made it so if you add dangly bits onto blocks, they will no longer be darker and instead blend nice and well. They moved the subtitles down so they're back where they originally were. They also reverted using the equip noise that is generic for equipping blocks into the player's head slot, along with knocking out a ton of different bugs to do with the equip noise coming up in different areas of the game. And they fixed 2 bugs to do with chat messages. Now come join my Twitch live stream where I will be improving my farm here so that it works perfectly in all the different types of biomes. Drop a follow while you're over there and subscribe for free if you have Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime. I'm really excited to show you all the cool new farms for 1.19, but if you'd like to see the ones I've designed in the past, check out this playlist here for all the simple farms, or this playlist about how we're trying to design a farm for every item in the game Minecraft. Thank you guys so much for all the recent support. I really appreciate you guys sharing what I do with others, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!